today's demonstration of Resolve Actions Express, we are going to be taking a look at an integration with BigPanda to handle automated alert remediation. The workflow seen on my screen here is what will be responding to the actual BigPanda alert to handle the remediation. And to simulate this alert, we are going to start a remote desktop session with a web server here in my lab. First, we'll stop one of our application pools in IIS. And then we are going to stop the IIS Windows service altogether. With that done, we are now going to switch to BigPanda to watch as the alert comes in real time. There it is, one new incident. Let me go ahead and click on it to investigate a little further. So we can see the alert has been created. BigPanda has pushed the alert over to Resolve Actions Express, and the automated workflow will be getting to work. So we can see here that the workflow has picked up on the alert, and it's even given us a direct link where we can go investigate this a little further over on the Resolve side. Clicking on that link brings us to the audit trail view within Actions Express. In the audit trail view, we can see the specific workflow that responded to the alert. We can see the incoming event that caused that trigger. And in the execution log below, we're actually able to see the step-by-step process that our workflow took, all the way from the very beginning to where we're parsing alert details, down to the triage and remediation. Switching back to BigPanda, we can also see a message that a ticket was created, in this case within ServiceNow, to document this entire process. Here within our incident ticket, we can see things like the BigPanda alert ID, the affected host, and the specific alert type, all dynamically inserted directly into the ticket, as well as things like our category and subcategory. Scrolling down to the work notes, we see an entire play-by-play of everything our automation did. The automation saw that IIS wasn't running on the server at all, so it had been started. You recall that I stopped the Windows service. The automation also detected that one of our two application pools was in a stopped state, so it had been successfully started again, while the other one was already running correctly and didn't require any additional action. After that was done, the workflow then checked to ensure that the service had been restored, and because it had, the ticket had been resolved, and Resolve is considering it back up and running successfully. And all of that information would also be thrown right here into the closure codes. And not only was that insight via the Resolve Actions Express link and ServiceNow link provided within the BigPanda alert details themselves, but it's also been posted in this example to a specific Microsoft Teams channel. And here we can see we again have direct links to where we can investigate this further within the audit trail and Actions Express, a direct link to the specific alert ID in BigPanda, a direct link to the ServiceNow ticket, and all of the other pertinent information that describes this particular alert. Returning back to Actions Express, we can take a look at the workflow that was actually responsible for the automation that we saw today. Using the pre-built drag and drop integrations to systems like ServiceNow and BigPanda and Microsoft Windows, we were very easily, within this workflow, able to do things like create an incident ticket while populating any sort of standard or custom field with any type of value or data that we need. We can also leave comments directly on BigPanda alerts, just like we see here. The specific workflow is designed to perform a simple false positive check at the beginning, where we know this is a web application outage alert, and we look to see if we can get a 200 code back from an HTTP GET using this URL check. If we can, and the site is considered to be up and running, well, we travel down this left branch to automatically close the ServiceNow ticket and consider it a false positive. Otherwise, we travel down this right branch. We continue to add work notes to the ticket itself all along the way. we do things like check the status of the Windows service, and if it is in a running state, well, we go ahead and initiate a restart. Otherwise, as it was true in today's case, the service was stopped, and so we started it back up. All along the way, keeping our ticket up to date with all of this information. As we continue on down, here we get a list of all application pools in IIS, and then actually iterate through them one by one to check on their status and do a start or restart depending on its current state. And just as before, we're keeping our ticket up to date all along the way with this information. As we head to the bottom portion of the workflow, we're going to perform one last check here to ensure that the web application is serving up its page correctly as expected. And if so, well, we travel down our left branch here, resolve the ticket, send the message to the Microsoft Teams channel, and then ultimately resolve the incident. Otherwise, we escalate our ticket and send likewise a message to our Microsoft Teams channel to know that a human being needs to investigate this further. For good measure, let's return over to my remote desktop session to check. And yes, we do see our IIS Windows service is in a running state, and the application pool that I had previously stopped, the default app pool, is also in a started or running state. Fantastic.